just use protection. You would with sex, so why not with your hair? Welcome back to my channel, guys. My name's Thomas, if you are brand new, and I make style and hair related videos every single week here on YouTube. Today, I'm bringing you an educational video, actually. We're going to be talking about heat protectors today, and why they're important, how they work, and yeah, which one I use for my hair, because I've been straightening my hair so much lately, like ridiculous amounts compared to usual, and I've just brushed up on my research as to why it's even important to use a heat protector and how they work. So I wanted to educate you guys on that today as well, just on the odd chance that you guys are straightening your hair too. Oh, and I did also forget to mention, guys, if you're interested in checking out any of the heat protectors that I mentioned today, there'll be a card up there, and there'll also be a link to a blog post in the description box below for you, along with my butt hair removal video. So yeah, enjoy. All right, so let's get into it. Now, the first thing I wanted to educate you on was the importance of why you should use a hair protector, and then we'll get into the science of how it works later on. Essentially, the reason that you need to use a heat protector is because what happens is, with your hair, I'm going to try and explain this the best way I can, but you've got a hair which has a shaft, which is like this big tube, and then on the outside of that, you've got a thing called the cuticle layer, which it almost looks like fish scales, and they all go and sit over the top of each other like that, right? Like that. Oh my god, so weird. Okay, and the cuticle layer is pretty much like a protection thing, and what happens is when heat goes through that too quickly and into the shaft, the cuticle layer actually cracks, and moisture comes out, and the hair becomes dry, it becomes broken, and it becomes brittle, and then it'll further lead to breakage, which is the hair snapping off, which is why a lot of people that bleach a lot of their hair, they get a lot of breakage, because the bleach has damaged that cuticle layer so much that the hair on the inside and the shaft, it's all just pretty much F-worded it, and it breaks off. And from the research that I did, my understanding is that when heat goes through that cuticle layer too quickly, that's when it cracks, and that's when it actually causes the damage. But what a heat protector does is it actually slows the heating process down, so it goes through the cuticle layer slower, and it doesn't cause as much damage to the hair. Pretty freaking insane when you think about it, actually. After I learned that, I was kind of like, wow, because people with coarse, frizzy hair like mine, right, we already by default have really dry hair, and the cuticle layer is already quite dry in itself. There's not really a lot of moisture and oil in it. So what happens is, like, the shaft again, and then we've got all the flakes on the outside, and what causes frizziness is the flakes will all be open like this, and things like conditioners and keratin treatments will smooth that over and close it up. Whereas people with really straight hair, the oil goes from their scalp all the way to the ends, and the cuticles are always nice and smooth and can allow for a little bit more tampering with like hot irons and stuff. But when the hair cuticles are just all open like this, they're very dry and very prone to extra damage, even without heat. So, but anyway, that's why I use a heat protector, and they're really, really important. I found so much stuff when researching this. I found a way to test your heat protector, and I also found a really cool like case study that was performed in 1998 by the Society of Cosmetic Chemists, I think it is. I've pulled the post up for you because the names of these ingredients are really hard to pronounce, so I'm going to try my best. But so what these chemists did is they tested 3 different ingredients that were said to do heat protection for hair, and the 3 ingredients were hydrolyzed wheat protein. This is actually in the Davro one that I use, and I'll show you today. And there was also PVP/DMAPA acrylites and acrylites copopolymer and quarter, I can't even say these words. Here, look, they're all going to be on the screen. Right. Anyway, so what these chemists did was tested out all 3 of these ingredients, and I'm actually going to read this post because it explains it so much better than I probably could through tongue. So, and what they found was all 3 of the ingredients showed a 10 to 20% reduction in the time it took for the heat to absorb through the cuticle layer. And if you remember what I said earlier, it's when the heat goes through the cuticle layer too quick is when the real damage happens. So the fact that these ingredients slow that process down is perfect for what you need. Isn't that freaking cool? And I was actually so stoked when I found out the Davro one that I use right now, this is the one I'm currently using, has hydrolyzed wheat protein in it, which is one of the ingredients that these guys tested, and that means I'm protected. And another cool thing, I actually watched this video on YouTube. It was just a lady explaining how to test your heat protector. Actually, what she said to do was you get both of your hands like this, you'll spray a little bit of heat protector on one of the back of your hands, and then you'll get the hairdryer and hold the hairdryer to the one without any heat protector on it, and see how quickly the heat actually penetrates the skin, and it's unbearable, right? And then take the hairdryer and blow it on the other hand with the heat protector and see if there's any difference in the time. If this one takes a lot longer to heat up compared to this one, you know your heat protector is good. If there's absolutely no difference, then you probably don't have the best heat protector. I thought that was a pretty cool thing. I tried it out with the Davro one, and it definitely was. Like, it's not so much that it didn't stop the heat getting into my skin, it just reduced the time that my hand could be under the heat for. I could still feel the heat for sure. So, cool little trick. Make sure you try it out. All right, now moving on to the final part of this video. So, talking about actual heat protectors that I have used before. Now, the first heat protector I ever used was when I was in Canada, and I bought Garnier Fructis, I think it was. And I used to straighten my hair a lot when I lived in Canada. I wasn't doing so many videos, but yeah, I did a lot of straightening, and that product seemed to work. I don't know a lot about it now because I kind of at the time just bought it and went, oh yeah, I'll use this. But I never got dead hair, and it always worked. So I have left that one in the blog post that I've written. But since then, I've used this Sebastian Trillant one, which actually just ran out the other day. This was actually really expensive. I think it was like $30 or something when I bought it. And I was actually a little bit disappointed when I went over the ingredients in this one because it didn't have any of the ingredients that were mentioned in that case study. And I was like, oh, have I been using this one? And it's not been very good for my hair, but I'm sure amongst all of those ingredients there, it must be good. And plus, I've used this one the whole time before I got the Davro one, and my hair never died. So I guess it must be good for something. But this one also smells really, really nice. So yeah, that one's also going to be on display in the description box. And the heat protector I'm using at the moment is the Davro one. So I was super stoked to know that they use hydrolyzed wheat protein in there. Apparently what that ingredient does is when it goes onto stuff, it creates a film-like coating, which makes sense. So it'll stop the heat from going so quickly on the hair. But what it also is said to do is that it evens out the distribution of the heat, so you're not burning certain parts of your hair and it's evenly put out. It's very, very, very technical. Oh my gosh. Love it though. And the Davro one, I think you can pick this up for $22.90, the big bottle, and then they've also got a 50ml bottle, which is like $9.95. It's in the description box below. Go check it out. I also have seen a lot of other YouTubers use like Tresemme hair protector. I've never actually bought that one, but it might be worth a look if you want to go and do it. The main thing is, guys, just use protection. You would with sex, so why not with your hair? No, seriously, it is. If you want longevity for your hair, then a heat protector is definitely a very, very good thing to go and look into. I have heard a little bit about silicones as well. People get really freaked out that some hair protectors have silicones, but I've actually also heard good things about silicones on hair because it encapsulates the entire hair, locks in moisture, and it's freaking awesome. So maybe do your own research on that. I didn't go into it because I'm not using a silicone-based one, but yeah, bottom line is you need to get a heat protector, okay? Especially if you have dry, coarse hair, because your hair is already prone to damage, and you'll just fuck it up even more if you don't, okay? That's pretty much all I have for you this week. I really hope you enjoyed that informative video. I did so much research. I have written up a blog about what I learned as well, so you can go and read about that. And that is the end of this video. All the links will be available. Let me, if you do use a heat protector at the moment that you know is good, make sure you let me know about it in the comment section below so I can recommend it to other people and potentially use it one day, because I'm always on the hunt for good products. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video, okay? Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next week for another video. Goodbye!